We're counting down the 10 Canadian towns where home prices are so unbelievably low, they almost seem like a scam. From seaside cities where you can buy a house for less than a year's rent in Toronto to prairie towns with sticker prices rivaling a used car, each spot on this list defies everything you think you know about Canada's red-hot housing market. But behind every bargain, there's a story. Whether it's aging industries, shrinking populations, hidden costs, or hidden potential for growth. Which town is just a cheap buy, and which could be a future hotspot? Let's kick things off with number 10. In the 10th place, St. John, New Brunswick, offers a reality check for anyone dreaming of oceanfront living on a budget. The average home price here sits at $314,100, less than half the national average. But low prices come with a story. St. John's industrial roots run deep, anchored by the port and the sprawling Irving oil refinery. Yet the city's population is aging, and job creation has struggled to keep pace. Young people often leave for bigger cities, leaving behind quiet neighborhoods and a slower pace of life. Despite these challenges, there's a fresh wave of optimism. Downtown revitalization grants have sparked new businesses, and out-of-province buyers, many from Ontario, are snapping up homes for cash after selling in pricier markets. Proximity to the main border adds cross-border appeal, while scenic views of the Bay of Fundy remain a daily backdrop. For those willing to trade rapid job growth for coastal calm, St. John stands as the first proof that Canada's cheapest homes often come with a caution sign. Number 9, Timmins, Ontario, stands out as a classic boom-and-bust mining town where the numbers catch the eye of yield-driven investors. The median home price hovers near $250,000, a figure that seems frozen in time compared to the national average. But what really turns heads is the rental math. Gross yields here often reach 7 to 8%, well above what's typical in most Canadian cities. This is possible because demand for rentals is tied directly to the fortunes of gold and base metal mining. When gold prices surge, the mines ramp up, workers flood in, and rental demand spikes. But when the cycle swings the other way, layoffs can hit hard, and outmigration of younger residents becomes a fact of life. Families retrain or leave, while investors willing to stomach the volatility can still find steady tenants among healthcare workers and public sector staff. For those with a taste for risk and an eye on cash flow, Timmins offers an affordability story with a sharper edge. 8th place, Trois-Rivires, Quebec, offers something rare in Canada's overheated housing market: the chance to own a slice of history for the price of a new SUV. The median home price hovers around $300,000, making it possible to buy a 19th century stone house with money left over for restoration. Situated between Montreal and Quebec City, Trois-Rivires has become a quiet magnet for artists and creative workers drawn by its old-world streets, riverside promenades, and a walkable downtown packed with galleries and cafes. Bilingualism is woven into daily life, and the city's architectural heritage gives it a distinctly European flavor. Pascal, an artist who moved from Montreal, describes her new home as a work of art, not just a place to live. But the city's slow population growth keeps prices from climbing, and debates about property taxes and gentrification hint at underlying tensions. Trois-Rivires stands as proof that affordability and cultural richness can still go hand in hand, even as much of the country's housing market leaves buyers behind. Number 7, Brandon, Manitoba, delivers a lesson in the hidden costs of prairie affordability. The median home price here sits around $310,000, drawing families looking for space, safety, and a sense of community, far removed from the sticker shock of Canada's largest cities. But beneath the surface, a different kind of price is rising. In 2011, Brandon faced a flood so severe it was called a once-in-330 years event. Thousands were displaced, and the city spent nearly $1 billion on emergency response and new flood defenses. Since then, the insurance landscape has shifted. Across Manitoba, property insurance premiums have climbed 23% over 5 years, with Brandon homeowners feeling the squeeze as climate risk gets priced into every renewal. For many, the true cost of ownership now includes not just mortgage payments, but annual insurance bills that keep climbing. City budgets have ballooned to cover new levees and mitigation upgrades, and some buyers are required to invest in floodproofing just to secure coverage. Brandon's promise of affordable living is real, but the lesson is clear. In a changing climate, what looks cheap on paper can come with a growing list of hidden expenses. Number 6. Bathurst, New Brunswick turns the idea of a bargain on its head. The median home price here sits at just $190,000, lower than almost anywhere else in Canada. It's a number that sounds almost fictional, especially when you realize some waterfront homes in Bathurst list for less than a parking spot in downtown Toronto. But the math isn't as simple as it looks. Bathurst's economy has been shrinking for years, with the 2022 closure of a major sawmill erasing dozens of jobs and sending ripples through the local market. The town's biggest employers now are the regional hospital and the school district, while forestry and tourism struggle to fill the gap. For homeowners, the real surprise comes at tax time. Property taxes here are high relative to local incomes, a legacy of declining industry, and a municipal budget stretched to cover essential services. New arrivals are sometimes shocked to find that annual tax bills and insurance premiums can outpace their mortgage payments. The town's natural beauty, coastal views, quiet beaches, and easy access to the Chaleur Bay offers daily reminders of what's possible when prices are low. But for many, the true cost of living in Bathurst isn't the sticker price on a house. It's the ongoing challenge of making ends meet in a place where jobs are scarce and carrying costs keep rising. Number 5. Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan sits at the intersection of prairie affordability and a slow-moving housing market. The median home price hovers near $280,000, well below Canada's average, but here, the sticker price is only part of the story. For sale signs linger for months, with some listings sitting on the market for over 200 days. Residents describe a quiet resignation as neighbors move out and buyers hesitate to move in. This isn't just a numbers game, it's a daily reality. Every unsold house is a reminder of how liquidity can vanish, even in a town where you can still buy a 3-bedroom for less than a Toronto down payment. Yet Moose Jaw refuses to fade quietly. Community groups have launched grassroots campaigns, pop-up art shows, mural projects, and the Love Our Town initiative to inject new life into empty storefronts and spark civic pride. The arts scene has become a rallying point, drawing local talent and visitors alike, and giving Moose Jaw a sense of hope that transcends its slow real estate turnover. For buyers, the appeal is real: historic architecture, a thriving creative community, and a price tag that feels almost retro. But the warning is clear. Affordability here often comes with the patience to wait and the courage to invest in a town still searching for its next chapter. Number 4, Brook, Newfoundland and Labrador offers a kind of beauty that feels almost cinematic. Mountains rising behind pastel houses, ocean mist rolling in before breakfast. The median home price here sits near $220,000, a figure that can seem surreal to anyone used to Toronto or Vancouver sticker shock. But what you gain in scenery, you pay for in distance. Flights out of Brook are infrequent and often expensive, with only a handful of direct connections to larger cities each week. For those who rely on digital work, the story gets complicated. In 2020, a new fiber optic line promised to bring Brook into the digital age. And in the downtown core, cafes and co-working spaces buzz with remote workers and students from Grenfell campus. Yet, step outside the main drag and the signal can fade, leaving some neighborhoods waiting for upgrades. The town's largest employers are the Kruger Paper Mill, Western Memorial Hospital, and Memorial University's local campus. Low crime rates and a tight-knit community draw retirees and young families alike, but the reality of living here is shaped by the limits of both travel and bandwidth. In Brook, affordability comes bundled with breathtaking views, and the daily reminder that paradise can feel a little farther from everywhere else. Coming to the top 3, Sudbury, Ontario stands as a rare example of a mining town that didn't just survive, it reinvented itself. The median home price here is about $330,000, a number that seems almost modest for a city that once wore the scars of heavy industry. For decades, Sudbury's identity was tied to nickel and copper, its skyline marked by smokestacks and tailings. But as the mines modernized and environmental rules tightened, the city faced a crossroads. Instead of fading, Sudbury doubled down on cleanup and diversification. Today, its lakes are clearer, and the air is cleaner than it's been in generations. Major employers now include Health Sciences North, a regional hospital that anchors thousands of jobs, and Laurentian University, which draws students from across the province. On the edge of town, a pilot battery recycling facility is opened, adding 30 new jobs and hinting at a future in green technology. For many families, it's these anchors, steady work in health, education, and advanced manufacturing, that make Sudbury's affordability feel less precarious than in other resource towns. The city's transformation isn't just environmental, it's economic resilience in action. While some homes still reflect the old boom-bust cycles, a growing digital sector and healthcare expansion offer a sense of stability. For buyers priced out of southern Ontario, Sudbury's combination of attainable housing and real opportunity is more than a bargain. It's a second chance, built on hard lessons learned. In second place, Rouyn-Noranda, Quebec stands as a northern outlier where low home prices don't signal decline, but a kind of stubborn resilience. The median price for a house here hovers around $240,000, less than a quarter of what buyers face in Canada's biggest cities. Yet, unlike many resource towns caught in endless cycles of boom and bust, Rouyn-Noranda's economy has found a way to hold steady. Mining remains the backbone, anchored by the Glencore Horn Smelter, which recently completed a major pollution control upgrade. The project caused temporary layoffs, but ended with a net gain of 40 jobs, a rare story of industrial renewal in a remote region. Health and education services are robust for a town this size, with a regional hospital and a college drawing in both workers and young families from across Abitibi-Témiscamingue. The winters are harsh and long, and transit links to the rest of Quebec are limited, but those who stay often cite the close-knit community and cultural diversity as reasons to put down roots. Unlike Timmins, where economic swings can leave neighborhoods half-empty, Rouyn-Noranda's stability is reflected in its steady demand for housing and slow, incremental price growth. For buyers willing to brave the distance and the cold, the town offers a rare combination: attainable prices, real job prospects, and a sense of continuity that's missing from so many other places on the map. Here, the low cost of a home isn't a red flag. It's a window into a community that's managed to weather Canada's housing storm without losing its footing. And finally, in first place, Windsor, Ontario, delivers a kind of sticker shock that's hard to believe in today's Canada. The median home price here hovers around $390,000, barely a third of what buyers face in Toronto and the Greater Toronto Area. But Windsor isn't just cheap, it's changing fast. Since 2016, the city's population has jumped by 14%, fueled by a wave of newcomers, cross-border commuters, and investors betting on the next big thing. The old auto capital of Canada is now ground zero for the electric vehicle revolution. Stellantis and LG's new battery plant, set to open its doors in 2025, brings more than 2,500 direct jobs and a promise to redraw Windsor's economic map. The City Council's gamble on tax holidays and land grants has paid off, with spin-off suppliers, logistics firms, and tech startups crowding into the industrial parks. For many, Windsor's appeal goes beyond the job market. The Detroit River crossing puts the U.S. economy within arm's reach, and every morning, thousands stream across the Ambassador Bridge for work on both sides. Real estate agents now field bidding wars on houses that just a few years ago would have languished on the market. Investors who bought early have seen values double, while new arrivals scramble for shrinking inventory. Yet even as prices rise, Windsor remains an outlier, a city where a detached house still costs less than a Toronto condo, and where affordability feels like a fleeting opportunity. The urgency is real. Supply is tightening, and every new factory announcement pushes prices higher. For those who move quickly, Windsor offers a rare window. The last big Canadian city where the dream of ownership is still within reach, but maybe not for long. From Bathurst's waterfront homes priced below a Toronto parking spot to Windsor's sudden boom at the top of the list, these 10 Canadian towns reveal just how wide the gulf has grown in Canada's real estate market. The most shocking entries weren't just about low prices. They exposed the trade-offs. Places like Brandon, where insurance costs are soaring, or Moose Jaw, where houses can sit unsold for months. Across all 10 entries, a clear pattern emerged. The cheapest towns share aging populations, job market challenges, and distance from major urban centers. Yet, exceptions like Sudbury and Windsor show that strong local anchors or new industries can turn bargain towns into growth hotspots. Our ranking focused on median home price, but also factored in stability, livability, and future risk. The real insight? Affordable homes in Canada do exist, but each one comes with its own story of community, resilience, and compromise. In a country where million-dollar listings are the norm, these towns remind us that affordability is real, but never simple.